Cool. Cool. That's so cool. Okay, I think today there's not a lot of people. See, it's kind of like last minute so for this preparation. I was a bit busy preparing for next week presentation. There's like a Notion takeover week that's happening next week. So it will be I think I'll try to cover a little bit. So it's a bit short today, but I do have some topic that I wanted to share with you guys. Definitely something that I've not shared before. Um and yeah, I think we can get started. So welcome for those of you who just joined. I think probably Khairul and Sharaj has either they have met before, and I think you guys know roughly about what I do. But just to clear the room, Jeffrey, do you want to share a little bit more about yourself and why you actually joined today's session?
Yeah, hi everyone. Yeah, so basically I use I'm Jeffrey. So basically I work in a corporate job as a salesperson last time, but now it's more of customer success. So but mainly I use Notion for my life, I would say, like in terms of personal or finance, anything for record purpose. And I think recently I use it quite often for my running plan also. Yeah, to keep track all the running plan, log all the running session to keep track everything. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. That's a really nice use case. I love that that you're able to track. And are you doing any kind of synchronization or like integration with any apps or whatsoever with your Notion app?
Sorry again.
Are you doing any kind of sync or integrations, or is it just like manual inputs inside of your running plan?
Actually, I use the cloud.
Okay.
So use the cloud to integrate with the connector with the Notion. So every time I just put a screenshot to the cloud, and cloud will send to my Notion, then create a log. Then I will use the cloud to do the summary, then see how to improve for my next session and do a running plan for all the rest of the month. So and also I will sync it to my Google Calendar. So I don't need to like see, well, what should I run, what kind of plan I should do for my running. So I just follow the plan, follow the calendar. So I just wake up and run.
Nice, nice. At least you got the execution there. That's a lovely use case. Thank you, Jeffrey, for sharing. And we also got one person just joining here. Hi Wong. Welcome. Okay, Wong just left. I think maybe a bit shy, so it's okay. No worries, guys. Okay, so if you guys have any friends, you guys wanna ask them to just join the session because you guys shy or what, just feel free to just tag there. Okay, so I'll continue with today's session. So the reason why I open up this office hour session is because I realized there's a lot of people who, uh, like when I go for events, Notion events especially, they all want to learn about Notion or they already use Notion, but they don't know how to actually take it to the next level, or either that you're using it very simple. Some of your case, I think for Sharaj, Khairul, and Jeffrey, for you guys are using Claude more often with Notion. So that's a really complementary tool in itself. So I guess some of you guys are already familiar with the MCP. So today we are gonna do a little bit different. Okay, we're gonna tackle and zoom out a bit about understanding how to like what makes a calmer operating system inside of Notion, right? You can go wild with Notion. Like you can build tools like as complex as running a like 100-person operation team, and you can even like build it for your clients. I've done that before, but the complexity often come with a cost, which is um over engineering something that you don't need. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be covering a bit today, and then later I'm going to show you like what's the most simplest database or like a blueprint that is easy for you to replicate. So this is what happened to me. This was 2 years ago, and I shared this in my LinkedIn post, right? Like why I don't build Notion templates anymore. And 2 years ago, I actually tried to implement this system, this capturing tool system, which is a YouTube transcriber and also summarizer that automatically posts whatever video that I'm watching it captures the transcript and then it auto populate inside of a Notion database, and then it basically pulls down like, and it gives like a whole summary, right? And then another like smaller system that I made was like a web clipper. So a web clipper goes in, it captures the article, for example, then it also does an AI summary. So all of this like kind of was like in sync, and then I was like, oh yes, like I created this very good system, right? But it actually was a bit complex. Back then there wasn't, this 2 years ago, back then was like where AI was, Notion AI especially was like still at the like experiment stage. And Claude also I don't think was there at that point of time. So I built this system to actually help automate using third-party apps um like a extension. Okay, so then this and then what happened was then nothing happened. Right. So I created it, but then like I got like too busy and I didn't actually use it. And I shared it with like a few couple of people, and they also found that they don't have the time to actually use it. So the complexity comes at a cost, which is me over engineering something that was actually very simple. And this wasn't the only thing that happened, right? There was like other setups or half finished setups that I created. And they are often, they look good, they are beautiful. So like, but they are also useless, right? Like I've like spent hours like looking at like the way how I want it to be, like the UI UX kind of like setting, you know. But in the end, like it rarely moved the needle for me. So the system itself wasn't the one that was the issue. It was actually like the process itself. It's the work, is how I actually do the work that didn't actually match, right? So I was thinking about trying to like trying to like build this system that I could probably sell in the marketplace, but I didn't really understand. I didn't catch the hook, which is like nobody want to use something that they don't already like example, like if something is so simple, you don't want to fix something that's already not broken, right? So there's no point trying to do it unless there is an issue or something is broken. So this is the thing that we also often confuse with. It's like we are often like like researching new tools, okay, and we think like, oh, it's the like the most cool thing ever, but then in the end, like it rarely actually does the work for us. It's mostly just tool sprawl, or it's just like the shiny object syndrome, right? Like you always look at the most coolest thing ever, but then we don't know whether like that thing actually match our needs or not. So sometimes the most simplest thing like a pen and paper will just be enough for you guys, right? If you want to take like grocery list or something like that, right? Sometimes it's just a matter of just typing inside your Apple Notes. Okay. So if this sounds familiar for you, right? Then you guys have been in the same spot. If you guys have done this, like you guys download apps, but then you guys never use. Or maybe you like saw the, I don't know, like a second brain system inside a YouTube tutorial, for example, right? And then someone was telling you like, hey, you only need this system, but in the end, it upsell you to like another course about learning how to use Notion, right? And that's the typical framework for not just in this industry, but across everything, like even like whatever in like in a live OS, maybe it's like how to grow rich, that kind of system. So it's prevalent. Almost everyone follows or get trapped in these kind of situations. And they're always trying to fix and find new tools to suit them, but instead of actually fixing the process. And it is often it lies in between the connection. That means, right, like, okay, for example, like you already use a bunch of existing tools, I'm sure. Like you have used email before. Yeah, and if you're using AI tools, you already might have used like some form of connections, right? And these connections often sound, yeah, integration is great, right? Very familiar, very easy to use, right? So, and we are often looking at it from a like a very like trying to fix by finding the best tool ever. So that's the poor fix. That's what we call a poor fix. And the only way to counter that is to actually look at the processes that you have currently, right? So I want you, so this is the story, just a short story, right? If you have anything to do today, if there's something that you want to do today, like fine, and go to your phone or go to your laptop, go and delete the apps that you don't use. That's the first thing that you want to do. Okay, so then clean. if you are in Notion, if you guys are using Notion, like do clean the database that you actually want to use. And then do this like a monthly thing where you can review back what works and what doesn't work. And it's okay if you have like a bunch of archive stuff. Just put it, if you have like some disorganized data inside your Notion, just like create a team space for it, and then just put everything in archive. That way, like, you may never know, maybe one day you might want to use that template again, or you find inspiration, right? And you like want to remember your life's work. So that's what I did. So instead of deleting, I just like keep it in archive. But the apps that is distracting for me, I will delete. Okay, and then use AI. I'm sure you guys are already using AI. So I'll also use AI for the right reasons, like where it adds value to you, not actually like make you stress even more. So I think I think there's also such a thing that called AI overwhelm, right? If you guys know, like you rely too much on AI that you confuse yourself in the end. And then you make yourself go down a deep rabbit hole thinking like, is the AI correct, or am I just hallucinating, or what? Right, you know? What happened? Did I okay, wait, sorry. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Am I hallucinating or what? Can see it. Yes, Sharaj. Wait.
Yeah, I can see. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Let me just, I think it exited out the just now. Okay, let me go back here. Okay. So then let's proceed on with the next. Okay, give me one second, guys. Okay, so this is the systems thinking approach. Actually, this thing just came to mind to me yesterday because I went to Echelon, and then I was thinking about like how we are also thinking in parts, right? Meaning like we're always trying to solve the problem, the tool, the uh the app, but we have but we rarely see like, or like we sometimes forget that we need to think it as a whole. So like a system is pretty much like a set of parts, right? They work hand in hand together. And if you're trying to repair a car, for example, right, and you see something that's broken, or maybe like a bicycle, right, and you saw something that's broken, and you want to change something, right, you don't often forget that it takes a few parts to actually, for it to actually work correctly, right? If you buy the wrong chain, you buy the wrong spare part, um, it fits, but then the rest of the system suffers. Okay, so this is like how we also have to look at our system. So that means in any part of our life, whether it's for personal or work, right, you also have to look at how things connect, not just things at a granular level, or just this is the issue, I just need to fix this one. So you have to look of it, how actually the systems connect to one another. How does one thing that you do affect the rest? Like you upgrade one thing, for example, like Claude, right? You upgrade for Claude, and then suddenly maybe you go down this spree of like maybe like you wanting to you open claw, or then you need to get a server, then you need to do this. So it keeps adding on and on. Yeah, that's what I did. So that's what happened to me. So when I was doing my grab food, during my grab food days, I had an e-bike. Then I changed one part because I want to feel comfortable. Then I realized the thing too short. The seat is too short or too wide for me. Then I need to change my gear, need to change my handlebar. Then handlebar, then change the spring. Then you just keep adding on. So it's like that. So you have to change one thing, you have to think about everything, how it affects the rest, right? And your tools and your habits. So all this is already a system. Okay, and usually the friction is lies in the connections, right? Like the reason why you're not able to use the tool properly is because you didn't have the connection in place. So it wasn't a tool issue, it was actually a connection issue. So now, like, if you're previously, like Jeffrey, you were sharing about your running plan, right? If you didn't have Claude, what would happen? So you have to think about it, like what are the tools that allow you to connect, allow you to make it easy for you to actually use. If not because of Claude, allowing you to make it easy for you to upload your screenshots, you most likely won't use Notion. So okay, so it all starts with small changes. Okay, when you start with small changes, then you can slowly scale. Okay, so yep, what's next? Okay, so thinking about essentials. So essentials is something that I thought about when I started this journey of doing consulting and being a consultant for Notion. Is what are the pain points that everyone face, right? Like what's one thing that in your current setup that you don't actually use? Like if anybody got any setup that you already built but never use? Anybody want to share in your Notion?
In the Notion or in something else?
Anything like, okay, let's say any app. Is there any app that you download but you never use, or you already fill up but you don't use it anymore?
I was using Obsidian.
Mm.
Yeah, then yeah, it started populating. I was using AI to populate it, and after that, using it as a like note-taking tool. I was trying to build the second brain. See where all the ideas connect to each other. Meeting notes for my work. Ideas I have for like side hustles. A lot of things. A lot of things. I was putting everything into Obsidian. Then after that, suddenly one day I just stopped using it because I think I realized that I didn't need it. But now I'm still looking into it. I'm still looking into whether agents could, use it as like a shared knowledge. So I'm trying to connect the Obsidian knowledge to a few agents and see how they can use it.
Mm, mm-mm. Yeah, that's a good point right there, right? Like when we are using the tools, most often, the most often like there's this mentality that you have to also try to like put this mindset, right? This essentialist mindset. Um, most of the things that we do actually don't matter. Like the exactly like the obsidian thing. Like the act of it is it matters, but the tools that we're using, most of it doesn't matter. Like as long as you're able to capture the note somewhere and you already pen it down your part, you already did the work, right? Um, and when you are comfortable with the fact that you're already that what something already worked, right? There's this shift that you need to say no to, which is like most likely like a design decision. Meaning like if you are already comfortable and if you choose to over engineer and then you do something but there's no benefit to it, right? Later at the end of the day, it won't matter anymore because what most important is that you execute the work, right? So instead of thinking in, so this is what we do. We often make ourselves complicated. We complex the problem because okay, I guess I understand. So I use Obsidian previously. I use it as a second brain. Um, and yeah, it was good when I was like writing blog posts. When I was like trying to connect ideas, I was reading a lot of books and knowledge, and I needed a lot of reference. So I used the Zettelkasten method, which is to like link different ideas to different products, and then I got like fleeting notes like what is my thoughts, what is the original source. So all of these matters, but you only apply to that context, right? After that, like once you store it, what's next? Right? You know, like do you use it to fuel your work? Do you use it to actually do something? So if you already have a system, the most easiest system is actually something that already works for you, which is simplicity. So you need to think about when you're creating a system, especially for yourself, you need to think about what's the most simplest thing that I can do first before you do anything else. And this is the three filters that you need to think about, right? Does the thing that I do, does it serve a goal? And can I actually maintain it in 3 months? So you already know. So you set that filter in your mind. Okay, if I'm gonna try this Obsidian. If it works and I still use it within 3 months, then after that I will say that okay, I'm using it, right? So it's worth. And then another thing, that is there something already that can something I already have do this job? So meaning, if instead of thinking about getting new tools, think about the existing tools that you already have. Can it actually do the job before you add on more complexity to your system, right? So it's just something to think about today. Okay. So uh now we're gonna build a simple live OS. Let's see the time. 8:56. Oh, okay, cool. So we're gonna build a simple live OS. And this system is something that I often come across whenever I find people talking about uh operating systems, like capturing task projects. These are the system. Let me show you. These four only. So essentially 90%, if you think about it, 90% of like your daily, your life tasks, whether it's across life or work, fall into these four category. You can call it like a habit tracker, but it still follows these four core databases, which is the projects. Okay. So project is like the thing that you that you're working towards. Okay. And I will share more in detail, like what are the properties that you might want to consider for these four databases. The next one will be tasks. Okay, so this is that day to day. Every time you think about your tasks, like your habits, especially, right? Like you want to keep doing something repetitively, they need to execute it. This all fall under tasks. Then the next one is your second brain. So a lot of people talk about second brain, right? Like you need to have this very complex system, but actually, to be honest, it's just a documents database, right? Right? And the last one is the context, which is just the people that you need to connect to in your life. Like you already have it in your phone, basically, right? Your phone context is your contact database. You just need to have it inside of a system that allows you to connect all this. So you can think of CRM. CRM is essentially just a context database, right? It's just the rest and everything else. So these four databases is the core ones, right? And everything else is just a view. Like maybe you want to keep track of like who you contacted last week, for example, right? Then is you can filter it as a view. Okay. So if you have not started, or if you thought about restarting your system using Notion, these are the four databases that I would just recommend. Okay. And let's continue. Okay, so example, right? So this is a project. So project is this is just some of the key things that you might want to create. Okay, so just have one row, one outcome, one finish line. Okay, then this is the standard one. You have the status property to keep track of where you are. Area is like what category. Okay, and then like what's the goal? Maybe give it a number or something, like if you've completed, then that means it's done, right? What considered as a goal? Maybe like if say you are running, then you want to hit 5 click, that's your goal, right? So then you can set this as a goal, like run maybe 10 clicks every week at least, example, right? And then set a due date for it. So it's the project. So this is a major one. Okay. And then you can relate it to, so all these four databases, let me go back here. All these four databases can be related to one another. A project can have many tasks. A project can have many documents. And context, maybe like if you're working in a team, like your projects can have multiple people working in the team. The same as your tasks and your documents. So all of them can combine with one another. And this itself is a very good system already. Okay. So task, same. So task is basically just one task. Like a task is an action. So meaning you have to name your task as an action, like get, for example, like go buy groceries or run today. Okay, so that is an action, right? So then this task, this run today can be linked to your projects. Okay, then documents also same. So documents is also basically like everything. So any kind of document, whether it's meetings, whether it's your ideas. Okay, so remember just now you said you have your Obsidian, right? Right. So your all this Obsidian, this data should at least be stored along with everything else. So it shouldn't be isolated. And if you have that connection issue where, like, if you're using one app and then another app stores somewhere else and you can't relate them together, you see where the issue lies down is you're not able to tag it to something that's more easily referenced or easily usable. And when once it's isolated, you will forget about it and you will not use it. Okay, so you have to tag a document and then make sure that it is related to a project. So if a project, what does this mean? A project needs to have a document, then create the document and tag it to the project, right? So you don't leave a project page empty. If you set a project, say I want to pass my motorcycle, I need to make sure that at least once a week or once a month, I must have a task related to that project. Okay, so that's the idea. Context also. So this one means that it's just a simple database for you to have the people that you want to connect with in your life be accessible. Okay, so things like what's your relationship with the person, when you last contact the person, and this is a good enough contact database that you can relate to your projects and documents. Okay, now, so we are done with the theory stuff. Okay, so let's build this. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you guys how to actually build this simple life OS, and it's actually more simple than you think, right? Just gonna go into this AI here. Can you guys see? Okay, good. Can okay, sure, can. Just in case, I thought I cancelled my this one, Google again. I'm just gonna open up and we're gonna start creating the system. Okay, so there's the 4 databases, right? So I'm just gonna go like create me a live operating system, include projects, tasks, documents, and context database. Relate them to each other. Simple to use. Okay. So I'm just gonna run this with Notion AI and run. Okay. So that's the first thing that if you are already a Notion business user or you're using the business trial version, or if you're in the free plan also and if you still have some credits, you can do something like this. Okay. So Notion AI, the good part is it understands your ecosystem really well. It understands Notion building blocks really well. So it's not difficult to actually create your own system. Just need to be able to visualize and see what you actually need. So even if you want to create your habit tracker, even if you want to create your running plan essentially is just a task database, right? So it's just a running plan, but uh for this, right? So if you are incorporating something that's just specifically unique to the project that you want to create, then you can create like just a running plan. Just build, create me a running plan tracker. Okay, and you can also use your plot as well to keep track. So essentially, Cloud also is good for when you are having data outside of Notion and you want to import it into Notion. So Notion then becomes the database. It holds this data for you, right? Okay, great. So it's creating the page now and it's currently wiring. You can see they created 4 databases here. Let me zoom in for you guys so you guys can see. Okay. Okay. So we got 4 databases here, right? And you can see that it's all in one singular page. Now I am going to just add a data, sample data first. Okay. So this is how I normally will work. I'm showing you guys like how I also run this with my Notion setup calls. So Notion sends me some of like calls from users across the world, and they come in and then they wanna know more about Notion, right? So here's how I would usually just show them how you can actually use Notion, right? With the AI functionality inside Notion is definitely much more easier. Okay, and you can see here, plot, you have more control over, for example, like web access. If you want to get your AI to search the web, you can also select the sources. I've linked my Notion with Mail, Calendar, and Slack for this workspace. Okay, this is my operating system. You can add sources. AI, you can connect Notion to the different tools outside of Notion as well. Same like Cloud. Just that if your ecosystem already exists, or your data exists inside of Notion, it's much more easier to just get the AI to do the work for you. Okay, like, and then we have like the different modes, which is the ask. This one doesn't execute. It just like research based. You just check back and forth. You don't need to make any edits. You can use this plan. Aside from the default one, the plan one asks you some questions. So if you want to build a system, you can also use the plan mode. They will just ask you more questions to define the system that you want. Then after that, it will build for you. Okay, so this is the three things that is very useful if you are using Notion. Okay, great. So we got 4. I'm gonna close this and I'm just gonna open this as a full width, and so that we can see the whole project. Okay, great. So now we have 4 projects. Now the projects here, we got a name. Okay. It's like across work and personal. You can see here the area is the category that I mentioned, the status. Okay. And all the other useful things that might be relevant. So for example, here, if you can see this page itself, if I were to open, these properties here appear this section, and I can see straight away from this project which document is related to this project. What's the goal? It's just a text property. Who's the people involved? What's the priority? And also the task related. It is useful already, right? Just this alone is a system that will allow you to just expand, right? And you can add the properties even more. You can like keep adding new properties to it. So even if you're creating Jeffrey, Shraj, Khairul, if you guys creating with Claude, right? Try to think of the systems in this manner so that you can relate it to one another. The reason is, number one, so that the AI can search better. Okay. So if you are, for example, let's say if I'm in Claude, right, I connect this to Claude, right, and then I'm asking about the newsroom email agent, like, hey, can you pull me the project page, right? And if it exists in this manner and it is tagged to the documents, it is tagged to the people, tagged to the task, straight away the AI will go and reference this page. It opens up here. It will already know what are the related documents or the related people or the task that is required to be done. So you make it easy for the AI. So it's not just human for human to use. Okay. So one thing that you guys have to also think about, and this is what we call relation property between different projects, between different databases. So far, any questions? If you guys have any specific questions that you guys want to ask about this Live OS thing.
Yeah, how would this apply to something like a CRM, for example?
Okay, good. So CRM, right? So let's say if you're building a CRM and then is there any specific function of a CRM that's important for you?
Okay, let's say I'm building a startup, and then I want to maybe separate the leads. I want to maybe work on the leads, which leads are warm or which are cold, which are require following up. And then for each leads, what are the tasks and what are the projects that a lead could become a customer or a client, right? So
Mhm.
how do you manage all of that?
Good. Okay, so this is a good legit question. Like, how can I manage my leads database? Remember when I said that the four things that you essentially need is just this, and everything else is just a view, right? So when you're applying it for a lead, so it actually becomes is that you're actually funneling it into a view. It's like you're trying to picture it. Okay, I want actually this view, but the foundation is still the same. The foundation still, in order for you to have the leads database to track the outcomes, what project it relates to, right? You have the projects already, which is this one. And you also have the leads, which also requires a context database. So then what do you need next, right? Let me show you how. So right now we have this status here and this context. We don't have anything else aside from this, right? So if I wanted to be able to make it easy, I don't want to create any more databases. The lesser the databases to manage, the better. I can create what we call a, let's see, status here. Maybe call it the pipeline stage. Okay. Okay, now I created the pipeline stage ready. And now I'm doing it manually, yeah, so that you guys can see. So let's say for the first one is maybe is a new lead. Okay, let's say call it new lead. What happened? Okay, I'll create it here. Okay, so let's call it the first pipeline is the new lead. Okay, I just call it S0 for now. And maybe S1. Maybe I call it like connected. Okay, I'm just gonna continue. Let's call this maybe negotiation. Okay, maybe S3 is usually is deal one, or deal one, or deal loss. Okay, so typical lah, like, you know. So I'm just gonna arrange this here. First is the new lead, connected. I'll put it is in progress, negotiation, deal one here, then deal loss. Okay, I'm just gonna delete this one. It's done. This one no need. So by default, I want this to be the new lead. This one I can delete. So okay, this one I delete. Okay. Now I'm gonna like put some color. Maybe this one yellow, new lead. Okay. So that's something that I need to address. Connected already. Okay, that means I connected with the person. Then maybe it's gonna be orange, is gonna be negotiation stage. Then deal one is green, deal loss, sorry, maybe put pink. Okay. So now I got this stage already. So this is the first stage. And I want to be able to view this in a pipeline, in like a pipeline stage, like a Kanban board view. So I can do this. Add a new view. Go to board. There you go. Easy, right? So now I can keep track of my leads. If I connected this person, it's just move here. So it's the same database. It's still the same contact database, but I only have an extra property, and I create what we call a view. So then this view, add a new view. I can rename this view to a pipeline stage. Pipeline stages. Now, when you have added a new property, right, you essentially already created that leads database. So this is the leads database. So you don't have to recreate, right? Of course, like if you have a more complex like architecture, say your leads database has meeting notes, you can expand it out. Maybe like for now, maybe you only need like a documents database that is connected to this person, right? So when I go pipeline stage here, even if I were to click here, I can also see, oh, okay, right now the pipeline stage is it currently is newly, okay, let's say it's connected already, right? Once it's connected, then I can also add documents, right? So I can add new documents here, call this a new document, new onboarding document, example, right? Or maybe you can also say new project proposal. Okay, so then what you can do, you can under here, this document, you can create what we call a reusable template. Let's say I want to create a new project, a project proposal template. Okay? And I'm gonna call this, let's build like a template, for this project proposal. Okay, so just gonna run this and allow it to create some content for me inside here. So now you can see here that inside the document, I'm creating a reusable template to make my life easier, that whenever I meet up with a new client, if it does turn into some deal, or you're connected with a person and you wanted to like move on with the stage, then you can build this reusable template, use it for each and every person, then follow the same structure. So far, does that answer your question, Suraj?
Yep, it does. Thanks.
So you can see here that actually it's not, I'm not talking about any complex architecture, like you need to have like so much. It's just that 4 databases, right? Again, 90% of like what you need is already these 4, like across everything. So if you have downloaded any templates or marketplace, right? And if you see like a lot of people create so many pages, you can go do it yourself. Like you go to the marketplace, then you go and find something related to you. And if you see any more than 4 databases, right, I can at least tell you that one of them is just for show. It just looks good, but it doesn't really serve that purpose. Or it might also be like not so related to like what you're doing. So when is it the right time to actually build further? Is when you come across a problem that you cannot solve, right? So again, like back to the principle of like when I was sharing with you guys, right? This principle, right? The filter. Let me show you here. Where's the filter? Does this serve a current goal? Okay, if I build another thing, will it maintain in 3 months' time? Am I gonna continue using this system or this additional feature that I'm using? And then can something I already, this is the one that we are doing, which is the 4 database, right? Can something I already have do this job? And essentially, if you didn't know like how the actual system look as a overall, because you're too focused on one part of the equation that you don't see the overall picture, is very difficult. So this one obviously comes with practice, right? When you already know, like, oh, okay, now I know that, okay, I need to build a database, or like a way to keep track of my logs. Just think of a task database. It's just an action. It's just an action that I need to do, right? I need to execute. The most you need to have is just a project and task. These two alone are already a powerful system, and most people struggle with just handling tasks alone. Like if you think about tasks, right, it's like a to-do list, right? You will know you want to get it done, then it's just there. What you need is just a reminder. So if you build like a task database, just create different views for it, like filter for today, so that you keep your database clean, right? You only see for today, or you have like a calendar view, then you can see all your different tasks for the day. And what I practice is like, I used to do this, but nowadays because my sessions are a bit different, uh, I if anything, if I have to do more than 5 tasks a day, anything that is not important will go to another day automatically. Like I don't want to think about it. Like I don't want to do more than 5 tasks a day. Even though if it's like, okay, if it's like a multi-step process, like I need to do certain tasks, then yes. But if it's like a major task, then I will break it down, because then it makes it easier to clear, right? So same. So if you are building if you're doing a running, if you need to like, if you example you're training for a goal, you want to hit say like a specific weight by a certain period, right? Then you need to you set that as a project. Then anything that you are doing an action day to day will end up in the task database. Then you relate these two together. So what do you have? Do you have a running system? You have a weight loss program system. If you're building a CRM for your business, or for trading, it's the same thing. It's like you're tracking documents, or you're tracking data, right? So it exists inside of documents, and then you just make sure you tag the right things. Okay, so task document. Let me go back here. where are we? This is the project proposal template. Oh, okay. Yeah, so you can see here, this is the template. Sorry, I sidetracked a bit. This is the template that I created, the project proposal template. And you can see here, there's a few steps. Okay, so this is just default, by default. Okay, project proposal. Okay, settle. I already got the project proposal, right? Now, how can I make it much more easier? If, say, I'm in my Live OS here, and I have a new lead. Okay, let's say it's Ahmad Ibrahim. Okay, and then maybe I have some documents. Maybe I put some content. Let's see. Okay, I do it manually lah. Make it easy. Let's see. Spoken and now sending project proposal to build a project and task database. Okay, example. Okay, now I'm gonna use my AI. We create. Okay, I'm just gonna delete this first. It's onboarding. Delete. Okay. Create a new project proposal document for this person using the reusable template. Okay, that. Ta-da. So now we go here. You can see it's the same. It's the same, right? So this structure. So what I did instead of I can do it manually. I can use like I can go here and then I can, for example, like create new. Then I click on this template. So this is the template that we edited just now. So you can reuse this template again. Just click, it will create a new document. Then I can tag the person. Okay, who's the people? Example, Daniel. Okay, Daniel is my proposer. Then I can start editing here. I can use my AI to do this. Oh, do it the same way that I did, which is a bit of a quality of life improvement. If you're using Claude also, you can do the same thing. So you build the reusable template. Then you put inside the database. Then you use Claude. And when you have like example like a new lead come in, right? You just tell Claude like this new lead just come in. This is the scope of work that we already planned out for. Can you create for me a project proposal inside of Notion? And because you already have that reusable template inside, it will reference that, like how I do, like that. Create me a new project proposal document using the reusable template. So you will look at this documents database. You will look at the template. Oh, okay, have this one here. Then you don't have to replicate. You can see I don't give too much prompt to the AI because the AI knows already like what to reference. So you need to know what to ask the AI, right? To help you get to where you need to be faster. So same thing also. And if you already have a specific template, right, it's also good to tell the AI. And here you can tell it in Claude also, like write an instructions page, tell the Claude like this is a good example. What makes a good example of a format? What makes a bad example? And then like list down the steps. So then that will actually help you to personalize your AI. And in Notion, the personalization also works in this manner, right? So this is the first page. This is like the default page, default behavior that the AI will go to whenever it runs. So for myself, like this AI has specific skills. Like you can see here, I installed skills similar to like Claude skills if you're already using same architecture. Okay, so I got a skill creator. If I want to create like a skill for the AI to use later on, I can just like look at this skill and then I'll just say like, hey, build me a skill to write project proposals. Okay, let me try now. Now got project proposal, don't have. Okay, I tell you guys, show you guys how to do create a new chat here. Okay, build me a skill to write project proposal. Use your skill creator, which is this page. So any page inside our database is a page of its own. If you guys don't know, okay, then you can just reference the page here. Hey, build me a skill to write project proposal. Use your skill creator. Done. So just run this. Oh, wow, I checked so fast already 9:30. Alamak. Guys, any questions? Did I miss out anything? You guys want to ask anything before we, in case I forget to answer any questions from you guys?
No question here, but
Okay.
I have to go first to put my son to sleep.
Okay.
Anything I will text you. Okay.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Cairo.
thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for joining. Take care.
You too.
Yeah, take care. See you. Jeffrey, anything from you, Jeff?
I think for myself is more toward the agent for Notion, how to build a Notion agent for different purpose or tasks. Yeah, I also now try to learn the cloud skill also, how to put on the skill for the cloud as well for now. I think this is a very deep kind of knowledge also for me.
Like, I'm happy that you're actually learning something. Like, there's always like different angles at play, right? When you're using AI, there is a layer. There's different layers. Like, okay, AI layer is just one part of the equation of the whole ecosystem that you're working on, right? The the another layer is the collaboration layer, which is like like who you're working with and how you're actually communicating with one another. The AI layer sits on top of Notion. So if you're using tools like Claude, right, and also other tools, maybe you're connecting to different tools, right? The foundation will always be the same. It is always flexible enough for you to generate whatever you want. Then you just need to like what I'm doing now, right? Is using the AI, giving it a skill, then asking it to create. The same with custom agents. So if you are building agents, for example, like specific agents, right? Okay, I'll cover a bit of this. It's the same process as this Notion AI. The only difference is the Notion agent here is your personal assistant. You have no scheduled cron jobs like how Claude has. The custom agents do have. So there's another layer. So two different AI features. The custom agent, which is this custom agent, they have more control. They are able to run on its own autonomously, without your input. So as long as you already like set the instructions up, it can run on its own. For example, say, let me show you a simple one. You see, I got quite a number of agents. Let's say this one, LinkedIn contact and teacher. So this specific agent, right, its job is to just go into my contacts and then see the LinkedIn link and just do a script of the profile from LinkedIn. So this is a very specific agent. Right? And the difference between the Notion agent is that this thing can run a trigger. So you can add a trigger whenever a page is added into the context, like a new context is added, then the agent automatically runs on its own. So if you set up an automation that pulls whatever data that you have from external, bring into Notion, then you just get the agent to run. And you can do this for multi-step workflows as well. Like an agent, for example, for a link, for an article, right? So the first agent will take a transcript, it will turn it into an article, a blog article. Then you have a smaller agent with a lower model to look at the article. Then it writes the metadata, right? But its job is very simple. So you learn how to do a bit of token management. So with Notion, definitely possible. If you're using Claude also, you can create, like there will be this, uh, new added new added feature, which is just released, is still in alpha stage right now, which is allowing your custom agent, your cloud agent, to exist inside and play along with Notion. So that one is definitely in the works already. So but the foundation is still stay the same, right? You need to be able to give the AI, number one, context. So the context live where does the memory of the AI lives inside of Notion. So even if your cloud agent, right, doesn't have full access memory, as long as you have the cloud agent is your brain, right? How it functions, how the AI actually works, how it thinks. Then where does it get this memory from? Inside of Notion. So similar, follow the same fundamental structure when I say like AI need context, right? In order to have good context, you need to set the database structure properly. You can ask the agent to build um the databases for you, but if you don't set up, or if it doesn't understand how to use the system, the foundation, then you will lack a bit. That means it requires more tokens, because how the database is structured is in this manner, right? When you have uh all these, the live OS, let me bring back here. When you have the databases linked to one another, where's the live OS? Sorry, mm, okay, yeah. When you have the live OS connected to one another, the way how it works is that it will find the most related. So it will not like, if you don't have a relation, right, to this, right, it will require you to search projects, database, document database. You have to screen through everything. Then you use more tokens. So that's why I also like say like the token management, like what models you use, and then secondly like the context of relating this together is very important. So once you have this relation, okay, the AI will function definitely much more better. I've seen this in action. So like when I was building it for a client, so he had just pages. It wasn't in databases. Then I tell him like, what is your, like, how are you searching? How is your AI searching for the document? Oh, I just have like a page, and then all inside the page is all the documents. So imagine like, okay, so what she had was, she had a journal, and the journal, right, wasn't structured. It was just a long list of like day one, day two, day three, day four, until I think, I don't know, maybe 3 months of work inside that page. And then you ask the AI to search, right? The AI obviously doesn't have context, right? You will need to search through the whole page to actually find out the information and then bring it back to you. So it runs through a lot of tokens, and it also like take more longer to execute. Whereas if you have created a database and then log day one, day two, day three, day four, it's easier, because it doesn't need to go through everything. It knows, okay, this is the date, June 30th, this is what I did. And it's the same way how I actually record my journal today. Like, I'm using my AI, my voice to chat. I just like say, like, hey, today, okay, I show you. This one is my live OS, right? Okay, it's my database. I'll just chat. Oh, wait, let me create a new. Okay. Why suddenly got Korean? Suddenly got Korean letter. Okay, I should I should minus this. You see again. Why Okay. I create a new page here. As long as it's in my database, it's okay. Yeah, this is my last one and after that I gotta go. Okay. Hey, can you update my journal database today? Today I had a pretty good call, and also my mirror just arrived for my home, so now I can see myself fully. I also just ended this Notion with Nasri office hour session, and it was a good session talking with Jeffrey, Sharaj, and Khairul. Yeah, see, right? So I just voice chat with my agent. So usually I'm on the bed lah. I'll just chat. Then you say, oh, where is Nasri Notion? Where's my journal, right? It will look through my database. Obviously, it will scan, right? And obviously, it knows, okay, daily journal database. It knows already, right? So it uses less work. And because I have it templated, I'm going to show you what is the result, okay? Okay. See, never update properly. Why never update properly? Oh, yeah, got. if I open here, you can see lah, then my journal show up. Then also give me emotional health good. I can see. No way, never. Yeah. So, so basically like that. So you just update. Okay. You can see here it actually created. So you're supposed to update this one. Don't know why. Maybe I'm using Opus 4.7. Okay, but that's basically that's the gist. Okay, so you can just check your agent. Then you can, even for yourself, right, Jeffrey, if you want to update, right, you try to use the voice to chat function in Claude, right? It will save a lot of sana. Someone coming in. Lama, Hamad is coming in. We are ending the session already, so I'm just not gonna invite him in. So anyway, guys, hopefully today's session is good. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you guys for joining. I know it's like late, so hopefully, I want, if there's something that you guys can bring back to for today's session, right, is to think about what is essential for you and what do you think is a bit that you find that you are over engineering, and then if you need to scale back, right, delete the ones, filter the one, do an audit system for your own task, for your own databases. It can be just it can be your systems just for work. It can be for personal, or it can be even in your phone. Right? All the apps that you don't use, if you need to clear them so that you have lesser distractions, all the notifications keep coming up about, like, I don't know, Shopee, maybe, I don't know. If you are still using Shopee, then maybe, yeah. But if not, then if you need to remove it, or if you need to have lesser distractions in your life, it's always better to think of the essentials first. Then only when you need, then you add on. Only when you have a problem, then you use. Okay, so hopefully today's session is good for you. Is beneficial. Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you, Suraj, and hope to see you at the next session. Connect with me if you guys want link. If you guys want like a free business trial, I can offer you guys 3 months of free Notion business trial. Then yeah, then we'll take it from there lah. See you guys the next session if you guys want to join. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Nasri.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Nasri.
Okay. Good night.